Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam. But it's important that we start with Allah first. Because a Muslim is one who obeys Allah, right? That's what Islam means, to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in whatever He commanded you. And to stay away from what He told you to stay away from. That's what Islam means. So you being a Muslim, and me being a Muslim, all of us being Muslims, we have to look at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us and surrender to it. So who can tell me what Allah told us about drugs in the Quran? Anybody know? Or rather alcohol. Can anyone tell me what Allah said about alcohol in the Quran?
Any idea? Go for it.
Yes. Well, right. We can extrapolate that Allah told us that alcohol is impermissible. Right? Alcohol is not allowed. But what about drugs? Did the Prophet mention drugs to us? Did drugs exist at the time of the Prophet? Did weed exist at the time of the Prophet? Some people say that. I don't know. Have you ever heard someone say, weed's not haram? Weed's not mentioned in the Quran? Well, it's true. The Prophet didn't mention that weed is haram. He didn't. Nor did he mention cocaine is haram, which is another type of drug. Nor did he mention heroin is haram, which is another type of drug. Nor did he mention nicotine is haram. And nicotine is what? Nicotine is inside of cigarettes. It's a drug. It's an addictive drug that's inside of cigarettes, right? But what the Prophet did say is that anything that takes over your mind and it changes the way that you think and it stops you from thinking normally and it makes you think in a crazy way, then that thing is haram. Does alcohol change your mind? Does weed change your mind? Yeah, it does. You can be smoking weed and you think you're in the clouds. You can be smoking weed and suddenly you think someone's behind me, he's gonna stab me, he's gonna kill me, right? You can be sniffing cocaine and you think you're like on a cloud again. It changes your mind. You can't have a proper conversation. It's like, have you seen a person sleep talking? He's saying all sorts of weird things. She says all sorts of weird things, but they have no control over their mind. Like a person who's sleep talking might be swearing at you. They're not in control. They can't control what happens. So that's the effects that drugs have. And that's the effect that alcohol has. And the Prophet said anything that has this effect is automatically haram. It's automatically not allowed. It's automatically impermissible. Does that make sense? Good. This is one of the reasons why they tell you you can't drink and drive. They say if you drink alcohol, you're not allowed to drive a car, right? Because if you drive a car when you're drinking alcohol, what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to concentrate. You're not going to be able to focus. You might crash the car into someone. Same way, someone who's smoking, he's drinking, he might get angry, he might get into a fight. How many times have I been walking down the street and a drunk person comes up to me shouting and screaming? Now I'm somewhat of a calm guy, so I'm not going to punch him in his face. I'm going to let him go. I'm going to realize he's drunk. But you might be drunk and you might walk across the wrong guy. He might not just punch you, he might stab you. Do you know how many people get stabbed and how many people get shot, left for dead when they take drugs? Because the guy was high or the guy was drunk, so he picked a fight with the wrong guy. Or sometimes the guy who's drunk himself will go and stab or shoot someone. I recently had a friend who came over and he lives in one of the very dangerous places in America. And he's talking to me. Alhamdulillah, he's come to Islam and he's changed his life and he's a good person now. But he said he used to be a very evil person. He told me, I used to be very evil. And he told me the things that used to happen. He said we used to walk down the street and just shoot you. People used to just shoot us. He said we'd be watching him. He said we'd be hanging around with friends one day. Suddenly someone would break down the door, pull out the guns, spray and kill everyone in the room. Some people would survive. He said 3 hours later, you know what we'd be doing? He said, my best friend just died. My best friend just got murdered. I just saw my best friend shot in front of me. You know what I was doing 3 hours later? Who can guess? What would you be doing if your best friend just got killed? What would you be doing? 3 hours later, what do you think you'd be doing? Pardon? Bury. Oh, right. That's what a Muslim would do, right? He'd say quickly, let me clean the body, let me pray janazah, and we bury him, right? What else? Let's say you didn't get a chance to bury, would you? You might be sad. You'd be thinking. You wouldn't be partying, right? He said 3 hours later we were watching movies. So we put on a movie, and we're just enjoying ourselves watching a movie. And I said, how could you do that? I said, how could the guys come and kill your friend firstly? And how could you, at the end of it, not care that your friend died and be watching a movie? He said, because the guys who killed my friend were drunk, and we were drunk when my friend got killed. So he said, we didn't even realize our friend died. Imagine, he's dead, the body's there, he's bleeding, he's right there. He's bleeding. His body's stinking. And they just, all friends in the house. Bullet sprayed up all in the house. But the killers have left. So now what they do? Just watching a movie. And then when they wake up in the morning, whoa, he's dead. He's dead. Sometimes people, they do haram with girls. You guys know a man and a woman cannot be friends, right? Unless they're married, right? Or unless it's your sister, or unless it's your mom, or unless it's your daughter, right? Or unless it's your these relationships. But generally speaking, random women in the streets, can you be friends with them? It's haram, right? Why? Because shaitan will make you want to do haram things. Shaitan will make you want to touch each other. He'll make you want to take your clothes off. He'll make you want to do filthy things. Make you want to kiss each other and all that kind of haram. Shaitan will want to do that. Why do you think people do that? Why? You know the kuffar? The kuffar, why is it so easy for them to just go grab a girl and touch her and hug her and kiss her and take her clothes off and do all sorts of haram and zina with her? Why is it so easy for them? It's because they're drunk. Because they're drunk. Have you ever seen, not that you should be looking, but have you ever seen a girl walking in the freezing cold wearing a short mini skirt? You shouldn't be looking. But you must have seen it on the streets, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? You got a girl walking in the streets. Who goes to school and they've got girls who wear skirts? In the cold. You've seen it, right? You've seen it, right? In the freezing cold. I'm like, are you not cold? Now, I don't know how the little girls do it. But the older girls, do you know how they manage? I recently asked one of my friends, I said, how do they do that? How come she's not getting pneumonia? They said she's drunk. She drinks alcohol before she goes out. She wants men to look at her, so she drinks alcohol. When she drinks alcohol, her mind is gone. Her mind's gone. She doesn't, if not that it's good and no one should ever hit a woman, but if a guy came and punched her in the face, she wouldn't realize. He'd punch her in the face and she'd be like, huh? What happened? Hug me. Because she's drunk. So if a punch in the face is not going to hurt her, then cold is not going to hurt her. So shaitan makes them drunk. He tells them drink alcohol. Then he makes men and women come together, rip off their clothes, touch each other, do haram, all sorts of things, swear at each other, fight each other, steal, rob, all sorts of things. All sorts of things. All sorts of things. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question now. To show you just how evil drugs and alcohol are. And why am I putting drugs and alcohol in the same thing? Is because the same thing that drugs do is the same thing that alcohol does. The same thing that drugs do is the same thing that alcohol does. Let me ask you a question. What's worse? Drugs and alcohol? Murder. Killing someone. Or a person doing haram with a woman. A man and a woman taking their clothes off and touching each other in the filthiest possible way. You know how haram that is, right? We call it zina. You know what zina is? Zina, do you understand what it means for a man and woman to come together and touch each other naked? Do you understand that level of haram? Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into it. If you don't know, I don't pollute your mind. But the point is that it's a problem, okay? Now these three, does it sound bad though? Does it sound evil? It sounds terrible, right? Because you wouldn't go touch a girl, would you? And a girl wouldn't go touch a guy, would she? Or kiss a guy or whatever have you. It sounds pretty terrible to say that they're naked together, right? And they're just touching each other and doing all sorts of haram. And their private parts are exposed. Filthy, disgusting, right? Now, which one of these three is worse? To drink some alcohol or to smoke some drugs, one. For men and women to be touching each other in a filthy, naked way like that, looking at their private parts, touching their private parts, filthy, disgusting, or to murder. Which one is worse? Put your hand up. Which one do you think is worse? Who thinks the murder is the worst? 1, 2, 3. You don't have to be a sheep. You can say, no, I don't believe it. 3 believe murder is worse. What about you guys? Murder? No. What do you think? Say that again? You think men and women is worse, right? Okay, good. Because some scholars did discuss that. Some said that the zina, the men and women, is worse. And some said the murder is worse. Okay, who thinks the alcohol is the worst? But you said the men and women is worse. So which one?
Change his mind.
Huh? Pick one. What do you think? The alcohol. Let me tell you a story. Do you guys know Uthman radiallahu anhu? The Khalifa of the Muslims? The 3rd greatest man from this ummah after the Prophet ﷺ. It was Abu Bakr, Umar, then Uthman radiallahu anhu, right? Uthman radiallahu anhu, he gave a speech, he gave a lesson to the people. He told them a story. He said there was a man. And a woman trapped this man inside of her house. And the woman said to the man, he said, today you have to do zina with me. Basically, she said, today you have to get naked, and you have to, and I am gonna get naked, and we're gonna touch each other in a haram way. We're gonna touch and look at each other's private parts in a haram, filthy, disgusting way. So that's what she said. She said, if you want to get out of this, then you have to do one of 2 things. She said, this is my baby. Kill the baby. Kill my baby. Or drink this glass of alcohol. Drink the glass of alcohol. So now, what would you do in this situation? Be honest, what would you do? Either you're gonna get naked and touch this dirty girl, and she's gonna touch you, and this is from the major sins. Filthy. Or, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill a baby. Or what are you gonna do? You're gonna drink the alcohol. Which one are you gonna do? Which one seems the least? Which one seems the smallest around? Which one seems like the minor one? Which one? What do you think? Alcohol, the guy and the girl, or the killing? Which is worse? Take a guess. Say that again. So which one would you do? Which one would you say is the least one? Which is the one that you do? You drink the glass, right? It seems like, okay, at least I'm not going to kill anyone. At least I'm not going to drink it. So would you drink it as well? So I think most people would say, yeah, I'll drink it. That's the least. If there's no way out, I'm trapped, and I have to do one of these evil things, then they think, yeah, okay, the smallest one is I'll drink the alcohol. But guess what? The man thought the same. So he drank the glass of alcohol. Do you know what happened? After drinking the alcohol, he got drunk. What did we say alcohol does? When you get drunk, what does it do to your mind? It changes your mind. Your mind goes off. So when he got drunk, he didn't use his mind anymore. So then he grabbed the girl and he did the haram with her. He did the haram she wanted, of them touching each other in a filthy way. And then also what he do? Because he was drunk, he got angry and he killed the baby. He killed the baby. And that's why Uthman radiallahu anhu said, alcohol is the mother of all sins. Remember, the mother is at the top and everything else comes underneath it. Now in that situation, you should not do anything. You should run out the door. Don't drink the alcohol, don't kill anyone, and don't touch any woman. Don't do any of that. You just break through the door and you run, okay? You run like Yusuf alayhi salam did. You run as fast as you can. But the point is to show you, people will think, oh, alcohol is small. No. Alcohol, when you drink it, you'll do you'll steal, you'll kill, you'll rob, you'll murder, you'll touch women, you'll do haram. All sorts of evil people will do when they drink alcohol or when they smoke drugs. Does that make sense? So for that reason, it is from min akbar al-kaba'ir. It is from the greatest, evils, ill, hideous and sickest of sins. And sadly today, it is the most common. How common is it for you to see drunk people on the streets? everyone, they work for Friday so they can start drinking alcohol. Do you guys know any kids in school that smoke? Have you heard of any kids in your school that smoke? You must have heard about it, right? Smoking has got nicotine, right? Nicotine is one of the biggest killers of people. Do you know every time you smoke a cigarette, 5 minutes of your life just went? You know that, right? 5 minutes of your life. Every cigarette. 5 minutes of your life is gone. It's killing you. It's killing you. It's killing you. It's killing you. Not only is Allah angry with you, but what? What? You're killing yourself. You're losing the next life. A person might go to Jahannam, the hellfire, and they don't, and they lose this life as well. Do you know? Do you? And the reason I'm telling you this is because who's 14? Who's 14 here? 1, 2, you are 11. The biggest in class, the strongest. You are the guy to be friends with. MashaAllah. Allah barik. Are you in year 7? If I was in year 7, I want to be your friend. You have to, because you're big and strong. Yeah, it means you have to protect people. You can't be a bully. Someone like you's not allowed to be a bully. It's dangerous. It's not fair. Do you understand? You have to protect the people who get bullied. The point I'm making is that when you reach the age of 14, 60% of kids have smoked drugs. That means if there's 10 kids in a room, 6 of them have tried drugs. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 of us, right? If all of us had reached the age of 14, if we were in a normal school, 6 out of us would have smoked drugs. In fact, more than 6, because it's 13, not 10, right? That's how bad it is. So you have to know when you come into contact with this, the first thing that you do, my brothers, is that you fear Allah. I know that Allah is watching. Forget the fact that you could die. Forget the fact that you could end up doing all sorts of evil. You might get shot. You might end up shooting someone. You might drink. You might get run over. How many people get run over on the street because they're drunk? How many people does that happen to? Forget that. Allah is watching. And Allah, His angels will write that down. Okay, you took drugs. This is from the evil sins. And what if Allah doesn't forgive you for it? On the Day of Judgment, do you know how you'll be punished for it? Do you know the punishment in the hellfire? The punishment is severe. None of you want to be in that situation. And in this life, Allah will punish you as well. With diseases, illnesses. People who do drugs and alcohol,